Jane Addams, born September 6, 1860, in Cedarville, Illinois. She died May 21, 1935, in Chicago, Illinois. At the age of 7, she was walking through the poorest part of the neighborhood with her father. She noticed all the small houses and their surroundings, not much better. She mentioned her noticings to her father. After his reply, she said that when she grew up, she would have a large house, but it would not be built with all the other large houses. Instead, she would build it with all the small homes. Thus, the idea of the whole house emerged. She graduated from Rockford University in 1881. She was a feminist by philosophy. Before suffrage, she believed that women should make their voices heard in legislation and therefore have the right to vote. Overall, she thought women should come up with aspirations in search for opportunities. During Jane Addams' time, she believed that there was poor and social reform that needed to happen. Addams responded to the needs of the community by establishing a nursery, a dispensary, a kindergarten, a playground, a gymnasium, and housing for young working women. This made her realize that things were not going to change until city and state laws were reformed. Addams pushed for legislation to abolish child labor, establish juvenile courts, limit the hours of working women, recognize labor unions, make school attendance mandatory, and ensure safe working conditions in factories. The whole house, which was established September 1889, was developed into what they called an action center. The whole house had plenty of room for children, education for adults, culture, and focus on social progress. 3 purposes to the settlement. The first contains the desire to make the entire social organism democratic. The second is the impulse to share the race life and bring as much as possible of social energy and the accumulation of civilization to those portions of the race which have little. The third springs from a certain renaissance of Christianity, a movement towards its early humanitarian aspects. The Whole House group professionalized in the contribution of women in social work. For example, reducing poverty by providing social services and education to the working class immigrants and laborers. The United States saw a huge increase in interest in women's emancipation, new social laws, and attention paid to social and radical tensions. In 1915, Jane Addams accepted the chairmanship of the Women's Peace Party. 4 years later, she founded the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom in 1919. Jane Addams opposed World War I because she believed that war sapped the reform impulse, encouraged political repression, and benefited those who were making weapons and ammunition. She even attempted to persuade Woodrow Wilson to call a conference to mediate a negotiated end to hostilities. But she was unsuccessful. In 1931, her efforts to end war were recognized when she was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, although sadly she was not able to give a Nobel lecture due to illness and hospitalization.